Hi, I'm Joe Smiles from Fat Loss S.O.S, and please, if you're new to my channel, please subscribe, hit the like button, make comments, get involved, and hit the bell button, and then hit all, and you'll receive all my notifications of when my videos come out. My videos are educational, it's a drug-free channel, and I don't critique the people that I critique. I critique the misinformation, so I'm not attacking the person, I'm attacking the misinformation. I'm trying to reduce spreading misinformation. I want to educate and spread factual information. I've run an online fat loss course called Fat Loss S.O.S. My ethos is helping to keep fat off and keeping it off for life. Fat Loss S.O.S. helps you lose fat permanently by showing you how to turn your fat gaining situations into fat losing situations, or a fat losing lifestyle. It uses my mindset and psychological techniques and skills to help you keep the fat off for life. It's a no diet, psychological mindset lifestyle course focusing on neuroscience and nutrition. You've tried all the fads, so now it's time to get rid of the fat for good, so you might be interested in that. So today I'm going to talk about Brianshaw. He's a former USA 4 times World Strongest Man competitor. He's won 2011, 2013, 2015 and 2016. He's said to be one of the best strongmen ever to live. I'm not going to attack him, I'm going to attack the procedures that he's done. He's had a recent pec tear, and I'm going to look at pec tear and steroid use. In a recent competition he tore his pec, the clavicular part and the sternal part, and it's not quite clear from his video, but maybe he tore the musculotendinous junction where the tendon joins with the muscle fibers, or the tendon slightly some avulsion off the bone slightly. But let's have a look at the part of the video where they scan his.
Here's clavicular head, pec head, okay? He has some fiber disruption, as you can kind of tell with the gaps here, okay? But like best case scenario, like you still see even like these attaching, okay, planes here. Yeah. It's high grade, but it's a partial, okay? More intrasubstance, but he got some myotendon junction, and so we want to treat here. Yeah, we're gonna. Okay,
so it sounds like he's got a tear where the tendon just blends onto the muscle, and without hardly avulsion or anything like that. They don't go into what they injected him with, but they took a lot of blood, and it sounds like he had a PRP injection, which is a platelet-rich plasma therapy. It's where they spin your blood very quickly and separate the platelets and the plasma, and by putting the platelets back into your injury site, it's meant to increase the speed of the healing of tendons, ligaments, joints and muscles. Platelets are for blood clotting and for wound healing, and they also contain growth factors, and they're essential for tissue repair and regeneration. However, there's just not the evidence to show that platelet-rich plasma works or speeds up recovery time. Okay, for example, study 1 entitled PRP for Acute Muscle Injury, a Systematic Review. It looked at all the studies on PRPs up to 2014, and it found in humans that there's no evidence with good studies or any good evidence that PRP therapy is effective in accelerating muscle recovery from injury. However, there's plenty of evidence that taking steroids speeds up healing process, and that's why they're banned at the Olympics and other sporting events. It speeds up healing process, so he's more likely to get the benefits from the steroids speeding up his healing process than from the PRP, because there's just not the research to show that it speeds that up. Okay, let's look at study number 2, a brand new study that's just come out entitled Update on the Use of Platelet-Rich Plasma Injections in the Management of Musculoskeletal Injuries, and they looked at studies on PRP between 2014 and 2021, and they looked at almost 900 studies, and they found there's no research that strongly advocates the use of PRP compared to traditional management therapies or modalities such as REST, ICE, corticosteroid injections, which I highly do not recommend, and good old-fashioned proper rehab programs. There's also no long-term physiological benefits to PRP to justify the invasive techniques and also the costly effects of it. Okay, let's look at study number 3 entitled Anabolic Steroid-Induced Tendon Pathology, a review of the literature. This explains that steroids reduce collagen synthesis, which means that the collagen building blocks break down and they don't develop as fast as they should do in non-steroid users, and also it means that the muscles get a lot stronger than before the tendons do, and that puts the tendons under undue stress, and it increases the chances of the tendons snapping. The cross-linking of the tendon of the collagen fibers is disrupted as well with steroid use, which makes them more susceptible to damage. Steroids also mask pain. Steroids can be used as an analgesic, so it can help with overtraining or training too much, or with combat sports, stuff like that, to reduce the feeling of pain. But then the tendons can undergo injury and you don't feel it as much, and then they can get damaged. You can train more intensely with steroids, which increases the significant tendon and muscle tear chances, and you just don't adapt fast enough to the effects of the steroids that causes on your body. Okay, let's look at study number 4 entitled Pec Major Rupture in Bodybuilders and Anabolic Steroids. It highlights that pec tears are very rare but more common in bodybuilders and steroid users because they get stronger faster and their muscle and tendon fibers can't keep up with steroid use. Study 5 entitled Ruptured Tendons in Anabolic Androgenic Steroid Users, a cross-sectional cohort study, found that 22% of admitted users of steroids had one or more tendon ruptures, and only 6% of non-users of steroids at least one tendon rupture in their lifetime. Also really important to note is that upper body tendon ruptures occurred exclusively only in the steroid group. Okay, study number 6 entitled Self-Reported Anabolic Steroid Use and Musculoskeletal Injuries. This looked at American football players. We all know that common knowledge that 99% of American football players take steroids, but in this case they looked at the careers of full-time American football players, and the ones that admitted to taking steroids had significant cartilage, muscle and joint and connective tissue injuries than the non-users. However, who's to know really who's taking steroids or not? It was based on who admitted to it privately for the study. Brian was also in hospital with a severe leg infection 4 months ago, and the circumstances around that is very fishy. I don't know, he never went into why he got the infection, or maybe it was from injecting steroids and he got a abscess in his leg or something, but he had a very severe infection in his leg. But not only this, Thor also recently had a pec tendon there, but it was straight off the bone. So let's have a little look at this.
Same fucking thing, brother. Let's go. What's up? Get it down fucking hard. Get it down hard. Breathing. Go down. Squeeze your shoulders back.
Ow. So he tore the tendon straight off the bone. Okay, I think you get the idea that taking steroids is probably not a good idea. So to wrap up, this is as you know by now, if you've been following me, this is a drug-free promoting channel. I don't condone drug use, but I'm giving you the hard facts. And in this world where drugs are promoted excessively on social media, we now have a global epidemic of young lads taking, and into their 30s, taking steroids, and it's showing vast mental and physical consequences that come with taking the detrimental effects come with taking steroids. I hope you found this informative and educational, and don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you soon.